relation like this, f of x, y, z equal to 0. F is going to be continuous function on R3. Okay. And this is actually, if you have a locus, then we'll be creating the surface. If you wanted to represent your surface, definitely we have to have some family of curves. So that is the reason this family of curves and surfaces will play key role in this partial differential equations. Okay, fine. So now if you have two surfaces, let us talk about these two surfaces. If this intersection, if you are having non-empty, then definitely it is going to be a curve. Okay. So just I'm talking about here formation of partial differential equation. So I am taking one complex system. So, and here I am having some arbitrary function of u and v. So here u is a function of x, y, z. So we will be starting with the PDE. So flow is like this. I have just given some formation of PDEs, and then I have also introduced some Lagrange's linear equation, and I have discussed about some solutions, and I have seen how to solve all those things. I am going with the same syllabus, whatever you have in the BE. So I think it may be useful. So let me start with the formation of partial differential equation. So if you start with this, if you have some arbitrary function which is involving with u and v, so we can have partial differentiation with respect to x and y. So I'll be getting like this. So this is the equation. I hope you can understand this. So here we always use small p. Small p is nothing but dou z by dou x. It's always in any book, if you see, this is same. Dou z, because whatever you are having PDE, we'll be seeking for the solution which we interpret like integral surface, which can be represented as z equal to f of xy. So dou z by dou x, we'll take it as small p, and dou z by dou y, always we go for small q. So both are coming here notations. So you can see very easily. So if I do this from this equation, partial differentiation with respect to x and y, so we'll be getting some this equations. If you solve for these two, we'll be getting, solving in the sense we'll be eliminating dou f by dou u, dou f by dou v. So we'll be getting very interesting equation, which we call it as Lagrange's linear equation. So our story starts here. So this is linear equation, of course. So first order. So everything here, whatever I'm discussing is first order. So P into dou uv by dou yz. So this is the term Jacobian of uv with respect to y and z. So similarly here also 3 Jacobians are combined, and you get one equation P into this value, Q into this value equal to this. This is like function of xyz. This is also some function of xyz. This is also some function of xyz. Simply we are representing like this: P into capital P, Q into capital Q equal to R. Okay. So once you have like this type of equation, so we are saying this as a Lagrange's linear partial differential equation. So actually, if you see this, if you solve, we'll get back to this equation, whatever we started with. We'll be getting back to this equation. So all of you may be knowing, if you solve by using auxiliary equations, we have very big theorem to prove this also. We can come back to this solution also. Once you create, you can also come back. So that possibility we have. So, okay, let us see the classification of first order partial differential equations. So this is going to be linear equation, and of course, we are going to see that how this classification has been done. So a first order PD is said to be linear equation if it is linear in small p, q and z. So of course, if you have like this, capital P into small p, capital Q into small q equal to capital R into z plus s, function of xy. So if you have this type of equation, then we say this is going to be linear equation, partial differential equation, of course. So semi-linear, when do we say it's going to be semi-linear? So a first order PD is said to be semi-linear if you have, it is going to be linear in P and Q, and coefficients of P and Q should be functions of x and y alone. So here you can have some non-linear term with respect to z. So that is a basic difference between semi-linear and linear. Okay, fine. Now next, let us see that quasi-linear equation. So what do you mean by quasi-linear? So if you have, this is going to be linear in P and Q, and P, Q are functions of X, Y, Z. So that is very simple. You can see. And if you see that, this is also very important equation. If you have any equation which is a function of X, Y, Z, P and Q, which is not belonging to above category, that is called non-linear. So it is P and Q can be in non-linear form. So it can be P square, Q square, or anything. And all these things will come under non-linear. Okay, fine. So I have just some problems. I think it may not be that important. Anyway, let us see formation of PDEs. So if you have any arbitrary function involving like constants and arbitrary functions also, you can eliminate and get your PDE. So elimination of two arbitrary constants, this you might have done for your students. This is very interesting, this example. Find the differential equation of all spheres of fixed radius having their centers in XY plane. So we'll be having center in XY plane. You create some general sphere equation, then do partial differentiation with respect to X, with respect to Y. We'll be having one PDE. So this PDE I have given. So this example I will not explain. So similarly, if you have some arbitrary function, how to eliminate that also I have given. This is simple algebra. Will be from the given equation, and we'll be getting the PDE. Okay. So let us go to the solution part. So far we have seen, as I told you, formation. So you can eliminate and get your PDE. And this next interesting topic is solving the PDE. In the solving, in the sense, we'll be starting with first order only. So we'll just see that how to get different solutions. We have three varieties of solutions. So first one is complete integral. So we are talking very general one. We are not specifying whether it's going to be linear or non-linear. Let us take this as a non-linear maybe PDE. So if you pick up this one after solving, so we'll be getting, let us assume that solution is there ready for you. If it is having like this type of form, so we'll say this is going to be a complete integral. Okay. So of course, that how you are solving is very important. So in this solving method, Charpit is playing very important role. So when you pick up some partial differential equation, which is going to be highly nonlinear equation also, we'll be having, if you are having idea of Charpits, means we can do all these problems and get all the solutions. It's very, very easy. Charpit is backbone for all these things. Of course, to create the Charpit, we need to have Pfaffian equations and then finding the auxiliary equations for that, and we'll be writing compatible conditions. From there, we'll be deriving that equations. Of course, it's very lengthy. We can't do for the students, but you can remember that if you open any engineering book, we'll have Charpits. So from there, Charpit equation, if you pick up all varieties of solutions, we'll be getting for different types, type 1, type 2. We just teach to the students type 1, type 2. For anything, you can get the solution by using Charpit's method. Okay.
அதுவும் டியூ டுமாரோ. எப்ப 2:30 மணிக்கு என்ன சொன்ன? எடு சயின்ஸ் எடு போய் அல்ல சயின்ஸ் என்னன்னு பாரு.
Okay. So now this complete integral, once you have, this will be having two arbitrary constants. Now next, if you give some values to that, of course, 2-parameter family it is representing. Once you get the solution, this is nothing but 2-parameter family. Fine. So this is going to be next. If you give some values to this, it is going to be particular solution. It is going to be particular solution. So that is very simple. Next, let us go for this 1 minute. Hello? Yes. Yeah, 4 items. All those dry fruits. Okay. And all the nuts total 4. Yesterday 3 we supposed to use. Maybe it is late. We don't know. You just whatever we give, you just pick up. Okay. Bye. Sorry. So let me continue. So if you give some particular values for this, so you'll be getting particular solution for complete integral, I mean. Next, let us discuss about similar solution. So this is, if you have two parametric family of surfaces, if you eliminate these two constants, we'll be getting envelope. So that is nothing but your singular solution. So we are getting, by eliminating A and B, singular solution, fine. And next, let us go to the general solution. So general solution, we will not be doing in the class, but let us have for our understanding. Suppose if you replace in this two parametric family of surfaces, like B equal to f of I, that means you are reducing one parameter. So this becomes, this general one will become subfamily of the given two parametric family of surfaces. So now once you reduce this one from here, if you just do some partial differentiation with respect to this A, and then if you are able to eliminate, and you may get the value of A as a function of xy. Then what you do is, once you eliminate this A, and you will be substituting back here. So once you substitute in this also, you will be having some random function, arbitrary function f is visible here. So because of that, we call this as a general solution. So that is the idea, nothing more than that. It's also a complete integrals, but the difference is you are just replacing, you are reducing one parameter. So this becomes one parametric family of surfaces. Fine. So this is about standard types of first order differential equation. As I told you, if you pick up Char-Pitts for your interest as a teacher, if you solve this, you'll be seeing all this, whatever we have done, we'll say type 1, type 2, type 3, all these things, automatically you can get the solution. So you can see nicely from exact solution like dz equal to dou z by dou x into dx plus dou z by dou y into dy. So that P and Q values will be known for you. So that values, if you substitute, of course, you will be getting your Z. And after that, you will be integrating. So we'll be getting this as a solution. And here, one can be reduced by using this relation. So P becomes A, Q becomes B. So this is from Char-Pitts actually. From there only they have proved. But anyway, we'll be writing, we'll be teaching to the students directly. We substitute A and B, you substitute and replace, reduce 3 to 2, 1, correct? So we'll be finally getting two arbitrary constants, two parameters family we'll be getting here as a solution. Surfaces, of course, all these things comes under surfaces, right? Next, type 2. So this is having some particular type. So like Z equal to P into X, Q into Y plus function of P and Q. So whenever you have this type of formation, directly we are substituting, because if I solve the Char-Pitts equation, I'll be getting P equal to A, Q equal to B. Then I can replace this by this equation. So directly we'll be getting Z equal to AX plus BY plus some function of A and B. So this is Clairaut's form. That's the reason we say this is easy to remember if you have that particular form. So we'll be getting the solution like this. Fine. So this we call, so type 1, type 2, it's not necessary. If you have only, we can also say only function of P and Q, and you have some Clairaut's form. And here you have type 3 we say. So if you have Z also, Z, P, Q. So this also, as I told you, you can derive from your Char-Pitts equation. So once you go with that, we'll be seeing that. So by deriving, you will be having some X plus AY will come in picture. So that we are calling it as U. Just pick up Z as a function of this U. So of course, if you substitute this one, your PD is transformed to ODE. So that is the advantage. It's all simple work one can do by using this chain rule. One can apply, and you can write your P in terms of Z. This becomes directly dz by du. Q becomes A times of dz by du. So then what happens once you substitute this back, you will be getting this equation. So once you get into this, you can integrate because it looks like almost your ODE. So we can solve. And next important one is, so if you have one PDE, see I have not generalized whether it comes under linear or not. It's anyone. It can be non-linear, linear, anything. You can solve this. suppose if you are able to separate P and X, Y and Q. So if you are able to separate, then what we do is just equate to some constant. Of course, we say it is a constant, so basically it's a parameter. So now if you pick up this one and rewrite this one as a P and Q, and we'll be substituting in this equations. What is P? P is nothing but function of X and A, and Q is as a function of Y and A, of course. So if you substitute here, it's easy. This is integrable. So that's the reason we are able to get the solution. So that is the basic idea. So for all these things, origin is Char-Pitts. Of course, Char-Pitts, if you see, that is Lagrange's also is a subcase of Char-Pitts equation. So Lagrange is also very interesting equation. So that also we'll be seeing later. So I have given some examples. I think examples I will not be doing. It's like just finding solutions. If you have some function of P and Q, we'll be solving this. As we know, we'll be doing in the class like this. And if you wanted to go for a singular solution, we'll be differentiating partial differentiation with respect to A and other constant, B or C, whatever it may be. And those equations should be satisfied. First, we have to make it 0 and then eliminate. In the process of elimination, if you are getting dou Z by dou C is going to be 1, any parameter, if you do differentiation 1, but we have to equate to 0 to find out your solution. So once you equate, we are getting some condition here, 1 becomes 0, so which is not possible. So whenever you have only functions of P and Q, we do not have singular solution. That's what we say to the students. If you have only P and Q, function of no other Z and all, so we'll be having no singular solution in that case. We may have general. Instead of having two parameter surfaces, we may be having single parameter surface. So this is general solution finding. So this also I'm skipping. And this is very standard problem, which is in Clairaut's form. So directly we'll be getting solution here. So once you get into solution, so we'll be doing the process of finding envelope, which is nothing but your singular solution. So we are doing with respect to A differentiation, with respect to B differentiation, equating to 0, and try to eliminate A and B such a way that you will be getting one surface. So that is the idea. So we are getting, you see, in this case, x square plus y square plus z square equal to 1. So it's a singular solution. Fine. So similarly, if you have like this type of problems, of course, this is rewritten in the form of Clairaut's form, then we'll have the solution. And usually this type of equations, we can get your singular solution. And if you have ZPQ, so as I told you, you can go with this transformation. Z is a function of x plus ay, and we'll be getting the answer very easily. Of course, you have here P and Q you get, and then substitute in this equation, we'll be having this dz by du. So we'll be integrating and getting your final solution. Z as a function of x, y. Of course, this is going to be a two-parametric family of surfaces. And this is also similar one. I'll skip all these things. So let us go to next topic. Equations reducible to standard forms. So of course, if you have some powers here, so along with this P and Q, if you have higher powers of X and Y and Z, so we can go with this type of transformation. So especially if you give this transformation, we'll be transforming this PDU to this one, like your whatever types we have earlier described, those things will be coming in picture. So for that reason, we'll be going for this type of transformation. So it is easy to go for transformation. We'll try to look for the coefficient of P here, so that we'll be having substituting this type of transformation and getting into the original PDEs, which are in standard forms. So I have mentioned here, apply some chain rule and transform to the new variable x and y. And here, of course, m not equal to 1, n not equal to 1. If m equal to n, n equal to, these things are becoming 1 means you have to take log function. in the transformation. So that also I mentioned. If m equal to 1, n equal to 1 means you have log x is equal to capital X, log y equal to, all these things are transformations. You can do very easily. And Z also. For Z also, if it is appearing in higher powers, we can also reduce by having this type of transformation. So we can have capital Z equal to small z whole power 1 plus k. If k is not equal to minus 1 means we can use this. If it is becoming minus 1 means you can go for log functions. So that's what I have mentioned. So you can transform your small x, small y and small z at a time also. That is possible by applying some transformation using your chain rule. So that type of problem also I have done here. See, this is the one. So once you have like this, p square x power 4 plus q square y power 4 equal to z square. So I made into this form. So at a time, all transformation I can apply. In the sense for x, y, z. We can also do separately, but if you do this, there is an advantage. We'll get some only function p and q. Okay. So that is the advantage. So if I pick up, see, we have to take for x power combining with p, not combining with p square. So p into whatever you get, that power only we need to consider. And of course you have p square. So first you write like whatever the combination you get for p, then you pick up that as m. Okay. So p into x power 2 here. So m is taken as 2. Similarly, q into y square n equal to 2. And here z power minus 1. So k I have taken minus 1. So capital X is equal to x power minus 1, capital Y equal to minus 1, log Z equal to capital Z. So all together we have done transformation so that you will be getting your capital P and capital Q, and here dou Z by dou X and dou Z by dou Y equal to capital Q. So this is the transformation. Chain rule will apply. We are transforming X, Y, Z. Okay. And then finally we get into this equation, capital P and capital Q. Okay. So that we'll be getting your answer directly. We know, as I told you, Z equal to X plus BY plus C, and then replace this C by this, and then we'll be getting, finally you transform to original independent variables. So this is your X, and dependent variable also you change. So we are getting like this. So log Z equal to x square plus square root of 1 minus a square y square plus c. So this is the solution. So we get into this type of problems by using this transformation. So this is useful because of reduction to standard time. So similarly, you have this, I will skip. Let us go to this Lagrange's linear equation, which is very, very important. So linear equation, Lagrange's linear equation. Of course, this is coming under semi-linear, quasi-linear, I hope. So you can have P as a function of x, y, z, Q as a function of x, y, z, R is also a function of x, y, z. And whenever you have this type of solution, we will be getting your general solution as function of u and v equal to 0. I told you I started with this only. I have taken this equation and I have derived that you get into this PDE, right? So from here, we can also say that we are getting the solution of this type of equation as most general function as u and v. That means you are getting f as a function of u, which is like this is one surface, this is also another integral surface. So if you see the theory, if I can write this as this equation, p into capital P, q into small q minus r equal to 0. So if you consider all this if the solution will be z equal to f of x, and if I pick up this normal and I'll be having that directional derivative, everything, if I see that, you can directly feel this comes as one auxiliary equation. You can see dx by p, dy by q, and dz by r. So if you just keep in mind this from this equation, we can easily solve. There is a big theorem it is in this. We can prove that whatever the surfaces we are getting here for this equation, it is nothing but by solving this, whatever you are getting, integral surfaces, both are same. That's going to be same. So you are having here P, Q, R. So that is nothing but if you derive from that equations, if you imagine that z equal to f of x, y, z is there, it is having some normal. And if you see that there is one tangent is also given for you, if you compare all those equations, we'll be getting this as dx by p equal to dy by q, dz by r. So this is a very simple equations one can solve and get the solution. So this auxiliary equations, if you see, if you pick up any two, I'll be getting one surface. So two integral surfaces will be getting. Okay. So this is the idea. So by solving this, we'll be having your general solution. We are just saying it is a general solution. Of course, it is nothing but integral surface of this Lagrange's linear equation. So these problems, I hope you can do very well. So if any linear equation in linear in P and Q, so that means it's going to be a Lagrange's linear PDE. Then we can solve this by picking up any two equations from this auxiliary or subsidiary equations. We'll be getting your surfaces. So once you get these surfaces, I will be writing your general solution. Fine. So I have given these examples. I will skip this. Let's go to the next topic. Yeah, homogeneous linear PDE. So this is the next topic in this homogeneous linear PDE. So if you pick up nth order equation, so of course, let me introduce this. Equations in which partial differential derivatives occurring are all of same order. So in the sense, if you see any equation, all the derivatives should be having same order. So then we say that it's going to be a homogeneous. So order should not be changed. If I pick up one PDE, this we are talking about more than one. Okay. So it is like second order, third order, it can be anything. So we are speaking about the nth order here, and you are having nth order PDE, of course, is going to be homogeneous. And I have written the general form here. And usually we use the notation capital D as dou by dou X and D dash as dou by dou Y. So everywhere it is same. So whatever equation you are having, second order or third order, you can simply write as a general one like this. Function of this one. This is very important. So we will be representing like this. Function of D and D dash into Z equal to whatever right hand side they are giving, we are writing. Fine. So once you have this homogeneous equation and we are seeking for the solution of this type of equation. So what is that? Complete solutions we'll be finding for this. Of course, let me introduce once again here. So if you have this equation, so how to solve this? Whenever you are finding that complete solution or complete integral, so we need to find out complementary function and particular integral. Like what we have done in ODE, exactly the same. We'll be applying the same technique. But here we are taking the linear factors and then we'll be proving all these things. Though you are having more than one order, so it may be starting with second. Let us assume that second order. If you have second order, we can factorize into like two factors. So then we'll be deriving all those, whatever solutions we are having, that we'll be going for derivation. Let us see that. Complete solution of equation number 1. So this is the most general one. So consists of two parts. One is complementary function and particular integral. So let us concentrate for this complementary function. As I told you, this is going to be a second order one. I have given an example. So you have some, this is by applying the notation we are writing like this: d square plus k1 d into d dash plus k2 times of d dash square into z equal to 0. So once you have this type of equation, you can factorize as a linear factors. You can have like a d minus m1 times of d dash into d minus m2 times of like d dash. If you are factorizing and each one, if you solve it, each one will become again Lagrange's equation. So from there, if you solve, we'll be getting solution as function of y plus m1x. So that's the reason whenever you have this type of homogeneous equation, if you are able to solve using that linear factors, directly we say that we'll be getting general solution as, of course, we don't say here general solution, z equal to some function of y plus m1x plus some function of y plus m2x. So this comes in picture because of Lagrange's equation. You see, if you factorize this, you will be getting two factors. Each one is a linear factor. So if you solve that, you will be getting this as a solution. So we are making this as a function of y plus m2x and y plus m1x. So if you have more than that, we'll be just adding the functions. That's it. Okay. So if two are same, then we know this story. So this connection x will come. Now finding the particular integral. So this is also very interesting. So once you write down this particular integral, f of xy divided by f of d into d dash. So now we'll be replacing with one by one function like e exponential, sine function, or any function, whatever it may be. Again, you will have some factors here. As I told you, we are making as linear factors. So you pick up each one as a function of u and solve separately by using Lagrange. Again, Lagrange's linear method only we'll be applying, and we'll be getting the solution like this. That only we are directly telling to the students, this you pick up like this. So we are not picking up like this. By using only Lagrange's method only, we are able to get the solution like this. Answer we get only by using Lagrange's. By solving each and everything, we are getting into this type of solution. So we are just ready-made, we are giving to the students, of course. And if this becomes 0, so here also you can apply the techniques and you can find out. Everything comes in that for any function. And whenever you get polynomial, we reverse it and we'll have that binomial expansion, and we'll be taking care of all those things. I hope all of you know this. And here also, if you have any other function, as I told you, apply the same. We are using this because each time for each factor, applying Lagrange's method is difficult. So we are directly asking students by using this idea. So basically we are getting the transformation as y plus mx is equal to c. So by having one single in the mind, we are going ahead like this. So this is the idea. So like similarly, these are all solutions. I hope you can do very easily once you have this idea. And let us go to the non-homogeneous also I have mentioned. A non-homogeneous in the sense, once you don't have the same order, we can just say that it is coming under non-homogeneous. If all the partial derivatives are not having same order. Yeah, non-homogeneous linear PDEs. So this is the, if simply I have written d and d dash, of course it is going to be non-homogeneous term. If it is not homogeneous, then we say it is going to be non-homogeneous. I have given the example. You see here d square is there, dou square z by dou x square is the term here. Another one is dou z by dou x. So that's the reason there is a difference here, 2 second order, here first order. And dou z by dou y term is also there. So this is also coming under first order. So that's the reason we are calling this as a non-homogeneous equation. It is the same story once again. You have a complete solution or solution, whatever it is. So you are having like two parts, complementary function and particular integral. Here complementary function in the sense we are having the part when you make it 0, this part should be 0, then we say that it is solution, whatever we are getting is a complementary function. Fine. And each factor, I told you, this also can be factorized. So each time we are looking for factorization. Of course, if you make it factorized, you will be getting this type of formation. Okay. So once you get into this formation, equate to, you write z equal to into z equal to 0. Once again, you apply Lagrange's linear equation. It will come out as function of exponential. This function will come e power c1x and some function of y plus m1x. Just simple derivation one can try here. And if you just put into z equal to 0, once you try for this solution, solution will come out like this. Simply this will come, this part will come out. So if you add this plus this, we'll be getting your CF. So because you have not only one, we have more than one, right? So each one we are having in the mind. So whatever you are getting this, you call it as U and do again with this another one. So you will be getting repeatedly, if you apply Lagrange's linear equation idea, we'll be getting this two solutions will come in picture. Okay. Then both are solutions. We are taking linear combination and saying that this is also a solution. Fine. So this is your complementary function. And again, these problems I will not be doing. Let me go to this applications, partial differential equations. Yeah. So we are having second order partial differential equations here in this application part, of course. So here basically if you see, we'll categorize as three equations: elliptic equation, parabolic equations. So another one is hyperbolic equation. So these three equations will come now, also it will come. Everything will be coming in picture. We'll be having solutions for this. These are all comes under applications of PDE. Of course, it's a very huge one we can have in any field. But here I have picked up our own syllabus. Like immediately after having PDEs, I think all of us, we are having applications also. We teach for engineering students. So very useful one is wave equation. So we all know derivatives and all. Of course, we'll be finding the derivation of wave equation. One-dimensional wave equation I have written. One can do even two-dimensional. I think higher engineering people are having even two-dimensional. So it is very interesting equation. Once you have this heat is flowing in one-dimensional, so we are having one-dimensional wave equation. So once you have this equation, we should have the boundary conditions also and two initial conditions. So wave equation, we all know this will look like dou square y by dou t square equal to, this is the constant dou square y by dou x square. So in this equation, if you have these two will be boundary conditions. Always in the string, both the boundaries are fixed. One can do even with some vibrations also, that will be having little different theory. So we'll be starting with both are fixed, and then we are having initial displacement. This is called as initial displacement because we are making t equal to 0, and initial velocity is also important. So you have both, you see f of x and g of x. So any typically, if you see in this applications, you can have these two boundary conditions. Two boundary conditions are required and two initial conditions are required to solve your wave equation. And we can have the solution by using the idea of method of separation of variables. So we'll be picking up y equal to capital X into capital T. So this theory, if you see this equation, we are going to solve. So very important method is there, separation of variables. So basically what we are doing, we are assuming that small y can be written as capital X into capital T, and capital X is a function of only small x and capital T is a function of only small t. So now if I write down these equations, we'll be getting partial derivatives like this. You see, these are all partial derivatives I have written, and substitute back in the equation and divide with xt, we'll be getting one equation. Completely we are separating the t variable and x variable. Of course, we are getting in terms of some ODEs. So instead of PDEs, we are getting here ODE equation. So now what you do is separately take this and separately you take this and solve, and we'll be getting the solutions. Of course, now k is just random parameter. So let us assume that k is going to be positive. Once positive means take some p square and write down here p square. Here k is missing. So k is here on k, and therefore it becomes p square. This solution and this solution both will be getting, take a product of these two, that will become your solution. Let us take another choice for us. K can be negative. So if k is negative, we'll be picking up your capital X to be like this, because the ODE solution will be getting like this, and x and t is there here. We'll be combining as a product and we'll be giving a solution. So if it becomes 0, these two are the solutions. We'll be getting the solution. Write down all these three equations. And for wave equation, so if you see these two are having exponential terms. Basically, if you see vibrations of string, if you look at the graph also, that has the structure of cos and sine. So we don't go for exponential solution. This contains exponential curve, right? So this we are not going for. We go only for sine and cos combination, because the string vibrations will be resembling the graph of sine and cos functions. So it has physical nature only with respect to sine and cos. So we'll be selecting second solution as the best solution. Okay, so I have given the problems and all. I think problems, anyway, one problem, let me show you, then we'll go for the next heat equation. And you are finding solution for this. Any equation is given for you, and they have given some triangular deflection is given for you. Velocity, initial velocity is 0. So here, initial velocity, they made it 0. They can also give some velocity here also. In that case, what we do is, any one you make it 0 and we'll be doing the problem. And finally, you can add up both the solutions and give your final solution. It's not necessary. Anyway, for BE students, we'll be giving any one, either initial displacement 0 or initial velocity will be 0. But if you see for higher engineering mathematics, both can be given as non-zero also. So in that case, what you do is separate one problem as problem 1 and problem 2. In problem 1, you make it as f of x 0 and g of x not equal to 0 and do the problem. And other one, you make it other way. So one becomes 0 means other one is non-zero. So add both the ones and you will be getting the answer. So that way also we can do the problems. Fine. So you are having triangular deflection. Initial velocity is 0. So what we do, we write, basically we'll ask the students to write down all the possible solutions along with the best solution. Second one is the best solution. But of course, by looking at the problem, they need to write the boundary conditions. Always we'll be fixing the string. So we try to take these boundary values to be 0. And they have given initial displacement. Initial displacement is given as a function of x. So I am not giving the complete one, just I am giving as f of x. And initial velocity is 0, they have given. So now one by one we'll be doing for this problem towards the answer. So apply one by one boundary condition, get all the, how many are there? C1, C2, C3, C4, and we'll be getting the value of P. All these things we'll be finding using this boundary conditions and initial condition. If I apply the first boundary condition, I'll be getting C1 to be 0. These are all very standard. In any problem, we approach like this only. And next one, if I keep the next condition, when x is equal to L, that displacement is 0. If I apply this condition, we'll be getting the value of P also. So P is nothing but n pi by L. So you substitute back. And one more condition is also 0. Whatever 0 conditions, we'll complete and generalize the solution. That is the idea. So if you write dou u by dou t value at t equal to 0, this becomes 0. So once again, you do the exercise here, then C4 becomes 0. Then we'll be getting your most general solution like this. So this becomes your solution. Sin n pi x by L cos n pi ct by L. Of course, you have one constant. See, this is having infinite number of solutions are occurring here. So what we introduce here summation. So because n value is also there, you have more than one solution. Just take the linear combination of all these solutions. That also becomes a solution. So that is the basic idea. We pick up your u as summation of all these solutions. So we introduce here some Bn and product of these two and introduce this as Bn sin n pi x by L cos n pi ct by L. And by applying this, the last non-zero, you have last condition which you have not applied. 3 zeros we have applied, which is non-zero, we try to apply always at last to get the last unknown. So Bn is only unknown for you. So to apply this, we are putting t equal to 0 on both sides, equal to f of x. Here it falls with half range sine series, Fourier series. By using this idea, we are easily solving your Bn. So Bn, we can apply this idea of Fourier series, and this is the formula. We can get into the solution. Once Bn is known means, we'll come back and this is your original solution. So we'll be substituting here Bn and we'll be giving the final answer. So that's it. So like this, we'll be solving this type of problems very easily. Okay. And whenever the sine functions are given, so we need not do, see here initial velocity is given in sine term. So we need not do any integration, no need to apply half range series. Directly by expanding this sine function, equating the terms, we'll be getting the solution. Remaining story remains as same. So we'll be getting the similar way. everything. And see here the comparison comes. This is the final solution. Comparison comes in picture. Compare and then give the answer. That's it. Of course, you have to do some simple exercise algebra you apply and get your solution. Okay. So that is about your wave equation. So next comes in one-dimensional heat equation. So dou U by dou T equal to A square times of dou square U by dou X square. So these are all comes under applications of your PDE only. Once again, here you are getting the PDE because this heat equation will be taking some rods, right? Some places will be insulating. It's in our hand. If you insulate completely the rod, it becomes one-dimensional heat equation. If you are making it some places alone, if you are insulating, then it becomes two-dimensional heat equation, right? So that depends on the situation. In this case, we are solving one-dimensional heat equation. Of course, dou U by dou T equal to some constant times of dou square U by dou X square. So you will be applying a method of separation of variables. And here important thing is, here both the ends are fixed with some temperatures and initial distribution should be given. So this is only exercise for us. Sometimes they give here non-zero. So what we try to do is, we are going to have some zero conditions and then we find out your initial this steady state temperature. Then we'll be solving the problem. So usually the solving process goes with this. What is that? You should have that both edges should be at zero temperature. It is for a mathematical understanding only. They are writing 0, 0 and some initial temperature distribution is given for you. So basically, if you see the physical problems, you'll be having here also non-zero, here also non-zero, and they'll ask us to find out what is the steady state temperature. Then we'll be going ahead to solve the problem. So in that case, what we do is we are just making it as 0 and get your this initial distribution of temperature and then we'll be solving. Here also same thing. We'll be having your uxt as capital X and capital T. We'll be writing your partial derivatives and we'll combine and separate the variables and equate to some parameter. And as I told you, pick up positive, negative for the parameter and solve it. We'll be having by using this separation of variables, we'll have 3 solutions. I'll list it out. These 3 solutions will be like this, one by one. So now heat equation has very, very important property, natural property. As time goes, it has to be 0 or it can be finite. So that heat property, if you see, only the second solution will be satisfying. In this, it will not come in picture because at T tends to infinity. So this will go somewhere. So this is only important for us. When T tends to infinity, this is slowly going to the finite value, this whole value. So that's the reason we are taking second solution as the best solution. So solving the problems, I hope you can understand this. I'll skip all these problems. So if you have to teach for your students online means you should also make like this type of PPT and you can go with more number of problems. I think we don't have any other option. We have to do. Yeah, these are all problems I have done. Okay, let us go to the two-dimensional heat equation. Yeah, two-dimensional heat equation. Of course, we are taking care of steady state. This also can be solved. This also can be solved. Anyway, usually we have in our syllabus, BE syllabus, steady state only. Two-dimensional steady state heat equation only we are having. So this equation, if you pick up and solve it, we'll be having solutions. Usually in this case, we'll be going for the Dirichlet's problems. Boundary values will be given. So this is, of course, we call it as Laplace. So now if you solve by using a method of separation of variables, we'll be getting the solutions. So solutions, in the sense, you have to, one by one, we have to solve and make a product. Here you do not have any choice. So we have to go with the, I think, first two, other than the linear terms. Both, you see, if you see, this is one equation. So we'll be going for solutions such a way that we are able to solve the problems. We have to take the choice, either first one and second one. Both will be there. So in picture. So depending on the situation, we'll be selecting the problem. So this is about, I think, problems I'll be skipping in this case. I think I'll stop my lecture here. So if you have any doubts, you can ask.
Madam, thank you for sharing your view about PD and applications, madam.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Okay.
So this is very basic, sir, but
okay.
it's like a recap for all of us. So that's the reason.
Okay, yeah. It's a type of revision for all of our.
Yeah. That's,
it's good.
Usually
it's
it is useful for our BE students.
Yes.
Yeah.
So now I would like. Please continue, madam. You want to say something?
This is a combination of 2 units in Anna University actually.
Okay, yeah.
We'll be doing more problems. Of course, instead of going on online, if you go to the chalkboard, then it will be more interesting on solving and explaining to the students. Since we don't have any other option, we have to type and go with all this PPTs material like that.
Even in our SRM University, these topics covers almost 2 units in the third semester syllabus. And we are very happy to hear from you, and it is a kind of revision only for our staff members.
Yeah, definitely, sir. All of us, we know very well.
Yeah, it is a good chance for revision. Yeah. And one thing I would like to share with you, madam, with the pandemic situation happened in, the pandemic situation was noticed in the month of March, and all the universities were closed. During 20th of March, our staff members completed almost 80% of the syllabus in almost all the subjects. So only one unit was left, and if there were only 1 week or 2 weeks left for completing the entire syllabus, and the semester was about to over by 1 or 2 weeks only. But by that time, our faculty members have completed almost 80% of the subjects. Yeah. And, for completing 1 unit, nearly we have taken 6 weeks time.
Yeah.
And our faculty members were taking online classes. They used the Zoom platform. Initially, they faced some difficulties. There were some mischievous students who were doing some nonsense things initially. Then they had some control over the students. Then the committee was formed. They recommended that every week in theory-oriented subjects, there should be 3 Zoom classes, 2 video lectures, and 1 test and 1 office hour. That is doubt clearing classes. It was suggested by our higher officials, and our faculty members followed everything, and we could complete everything in a peaceful manner, and we got good feedback also. For completing 1 unit itself, our staff members are taking classes up to 6 weeks. And it was well appreciated by our higher officials in the HODs and deans meeting. So in this regard, I appreciate all my faculty members belonging to Maths department who have done excellent work in the last year semester syllabus completion. I'm very thankful to them, and I hope that they will continue in the same way. Even though, as we said, when we take classes in person, that is a different way.
Feeling is different, sir. This is very new too. I am itself feeling odd to myself to just sit before the computer and talk. It's something new for us also. Definitely, they will also feel something different.
Yes. And in person
is very important right now.
That's what. In person, if you take the class, it is a different experience.
Yeah, definitely.
You are allowed to do everything.
We are not satisfied. Especially for me, I am not satisfied by teaching in this
online mode.
Yeah. But anyway, it's now we have to
yeah,
satisfy.
so they were usually the satisfaction will not come when you teach online. But anyhow, the situation is not yet over. Most probably, almost all the universities will be following online teaching for the next 2 months, I
I think
believe.
slowly it will adjust, sir, because comfort should come.
Uh,
It is not there right now, so slowly we have to.
Yeah. So even though Zoom platform is there and Google Meet is there, even so some other softwares are there.
Everything
now
is
as
there, but
expert-
students are not there in contact. So
yeah, students are not there. The very difficult task is you have to make them understand the subject. You have to make
Yeah.
them sit in the class. You have to. The students are not to be compelled to come to the class. They should have volunteer. They should have interest. Suppose if Subhashini madam is taking the class, then students will feel I should not miss the class. Well, even I can miss engineering subjects. I should not miss mathematics. That should be the feeling every student should have. It's very difficult to create. Slowly, our faculty members are doing that. I'm very happy about that. Now, as the expert, I would like to know from your word of mouth, what
Okay,
method of platform is better for online teaching, whether Google
sir,
Meet or
still in Anna University, still they have not given us any instructions to go by online right now. So they are also, I think, they are going to decide right now.
Okay.
So now I don't have any idea actually. People are using, some people are using Moodle in IIT, they are using Moodle.
Moodle.
And some people, other than that, they are using Google Meet and all they are using, and some schools and some engineering colleges. Google Meet they are using, sir, some people.
Okay. Even Stylus software, there is a software called Stylus where you can write all the things, whatever you want, you can type and write like you can